Our planet, a beautiful swirling blue and green sphere in the vast darkness of space, from the icy poles to the lush rainforests, and yet beneath this beauty lies a power, raw and unpredictable. Volcanoes, like sleeping giants, awaken with fury, spewing molten rock and ash. Earthquakes deep below crack the very foundation of our world, leaving scars across the land. Tsunamis, immense walls of water, rise from the depths, crashing onto shores with unimaginable force. These events, as destructive as they may seem, are also stories of resilience, of nature's remarkable ability to heal and regenerate, and of humanity's enduring spirit to rebuild and adapt. For centuries, humans have looked upon these disasters with a mix of fear and awe. Ancient civilizations wove myths and legends around them, attributing their power to angry gods or supernatural beings. Today, we understand these events through the lens of science, but the fascination remains. We study the intricate workings of our planet, striving to predict and prepare for these events, to mitigate their impact on our lives. Yet nature, in its untamed glory, often reminds us of the limits of our understanding. This is a story of both destruction and renewal, of the awesome power of nature and the inspiring resilience of life on Earth. In the year 79 AD, on the shores of what is now Italy, a bustling Roman city lived under the shadow of a seemingly peaceful mountain. Mount Vesuvius, a majestic peak overlooking the Bay of Naples, was a source of fertile soil and breathtaking views, but beneath its tranquil exterior, a slumbering giant was about to awaken. Pompeii, a thriving center of trade and culture, teemed with merchants, artisans, and families. Its streets, lined with shops and houses adorned with intricate frescoes, echoed with the sounds of commerce and laughter. Life in Pompeii, much like our own today, was a tapestry of the mundane and the extraordinary. But the vibrant life of Pompeii was about to be tragically interrupted, frozen in time by a catastrophe that would echo through the ages. The morning of August 24th dawned like any other, the sun casting its golden rays over the Bay of Naples. By midday, a plume of ash and smoke began to rise from the mountain's peak, painting the sky an ominous grey. Panic spread through Pompeii as the ash began to rain down, covering rooftops and streets in a thick blanket of grey. People, caught off guard by the sudden fury of their once peaceful mountain, scrambled for safety. As the day progressed, the eruption intensified, sending a deadly pyroclastic flow hurtling down the mountainside at terrifying speed. The once thriving city, its streets, now rivers of molten ash, its buildings entombed in volcanic debris, fell silent. For centuries, Pompeii lay buried and forgotten beneath layers of ash and pumice. Then, in the 18th century, archaeologists, driven by curiosity and a thirst for knowledge, began to unearth the lost city. Buildings, remarkably preserved, rose from the earth, their walls adorned with vibrant frescoes, their interiors revealing the intimate details of daily life in ancient Rome. Skeletons, frozen in their final moments, told poignant tales of fear and desperation, but also of courage and self-sacrifice. Beyond the tragedy and the loss, the rediscovery of Pompeii revealed something equally profound: nature's remarkable ability to heal and regenerate. Plants, their seeds carried by the wind, took root in the fertile volcanic soil. Today, Pompeii stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a poignant reminder of the power of nature to both destroy and preserve. The story of Pompeii is more than just a historical account. It is a powerful reminder of the forces that shape our world and the importance of understanding and respecting them. Today, volcanologists closely monitor Vesuvius and other active volcanoes around the world, using sophisticated instruments to detect even the slightest tremors that might signal an impending eruption. Early warning systems developed through years of research and observation are in place to alert communities living in the shadow of these slumbering giants. The ruins of Pompeii serve as a constant reminder of the importance of this work. The city's tragic fate underscores the need for continued investment in scientific research, disaster preparedness and community resilience, but Pompeii also offers a message of hope, demonstrating the enduring power of the human spirit. The year is 1986. The world watched in horror as an invisible enemy born from the heart of a nuclear reactor cast a long shadow across the globe. This was not a volcanic eruption or a raging hurricane, but a man-made disaster with far-reaching and long-lasting consequences, the Chernobyl disaster. An explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine released a plume of radioactive material into the atmosphere, spreading an invisible threat across vast distances. The initial explosion and the subsequent fire released a radioactive cloud that drifted over parts of the Soviet Union, now Belarus, Ukraine and Russia, as well as parts of Europe. In the immediate aftermath of the explosion, heroic efforts were undertaken by firefighters and plant workers, known as liquidators, who risked their lives to contain the disaster. These brave individuals, facing an invisible enemy, worked tirelessly to extinguish the fire and limit the spread of radiation. The disaster forced the evacuation of Pripyat, a city built to house the power plant workers and their families. Overnight, a bustling community of 50,000 people was transformed into a ghost town, its buildings left abandoned, its streets eerily silent. The Chernobyl disaster had a profound impact on global nuclear policy, leading to increased safety regulations and stricter international oversight. In the years following the disaster, an exclusion zone encompassing a 30-kilometer radius around the Chernobyl plant was established. This area, heavily contaminated by radiation, was deemed too dangerous for human habitation. Within the exclusion zone, the silent reactor stood as a haunting symbol of human error and the devastating consequences of technological failure. The exclusion zone, however, also became an unexpected haven for wildlife. With human activity absent, nature began to reclaim the abandoned land. Animals too returned to the exclusion zone, their populations flourishing in the absence of human interference. The Chernobyl exclusion zone, once a symbol of human tragedy and technological disaster, has become an extraordinary laboratory for studying the long-term effects of radiation on the environment. Scientists from around the world have flocked to the region, drawn by the unique opportunity to observe how nature responds to such a significant radiological event. Their research has yielded valuable insights into the resilience of ecosystems and the ability of some species to adapt to radiation exposure. While the long-term effects of the disaster on the environment are still being studied, the return of wildlife to the exclusion zone provides a glimmer of hope. The Chernobyl disaster serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of responsible technological development. And yet, in the midst of the ruins, there is also a message of hope. The Indian Ocean, a vast expanse of blue that stretches from the shores of Africa to the islands of Southeast Asia, is a source of life and livelihood for millions of people. But on December 26, 2004, this serene and life-giving ocean transformed into a force of unimaginable destruction. Deep beneath the ocean's surface, along a fault line stretching for thousands of miles, the Earth's tectonic plates collided with unimaginable force. This cataclysmic event, a massive undersea earthquake, unleashed a chain reaction that would ripple across the Indian Ocean. The earthquake, one of the most powerful ever recorded, generated a series of monstrous waves known as tsunamis. The 2004 Indian Ocean Tsunami was not just a natural disaster, it was a global tragedy. The first signs of the approaching disaster were subtle. A gentle retreat of the sea, exposing stretches of coastline that had been submerged for centuries. Then, with terrifying speed, the waves hit, crashing onto the shores of Indonesia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, India, and beyond. Coastal communities, caught completely off guard, were engulfed in the deluge. Buildings were reduced to rubble, trees uprooted, and entire villages swept away. The tsunami's impact was felt far beyond the immediate coastlines. As the waters receded, they left behind a scene of unimaginable devastation. In the aftermath of the tsunami, the world responded with an outpouring of grief and compassion. Aid agencies and governments mobilized resources to provide food, water, shelter, and medical assistance to the millions affected by the disaster. The recovery process was long and arduous, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable loss. Families mourned their loved ones, communities came together to rebuild their shattered lives. The tsunami also highlighted the importance of early warning systems and disaster preparedness. Yet, amidst the devastation, there were also stories of incredible courage, compassion, and resilience. The outpouring of international aid and the tireless efforts of local communities helped to rebuild homes, schools, and hospitals, gradually restoring a sense of normalcy to the devastated regions. But the scars of the tsunami, both physical and emotional, ran deep. The disaster also had a profound impact on the environment. Coastal ecosystems, already under stress from human activity, were decimated by the tsunami's fury. Coral reefs, mangroves, and coastal forests, vital habitats for countless marine species, were damaged or destroyed, disrupting delicate ecological balances. Yet even in the face of such destruction, nature exhibited its remarkable capacity for renewal. Mangrove forests, their tangled roots acting as natural buffers against storm surges, began to regenerate. Coral reefs, though scarred, showed signs of new growth, their vibrant colors slowly returning. The 2004 Indian Ocean Tsunami stands as a chilling reminder of the immense power of nature and the importance of respecting the forces that shape our planet. It is a story of unimaginable loss, but also of remarkable resilience, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity and the healing power of time. New Orleans, a city steeped in history, culture, and a vibrant spirit, built on the banks of the mighty Mississippi River, nestled below sea level. In late August 2005, a terrifying tango began. Hurricane Katrina, a storm of unprecedented magnitude, was churning its way across the Gulf of Mexico. New Orleans braced itself for the onslaught. As Katrina approached, a mass exodus began. Thousands fled inland, seeking higher ground, but for many, leaving was not an option. They stayed, hoping the storm would spare their city. The storm, however, had other plans. Section 2, Katrina's Wrath. On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina, a Category 5 monster, slammed into the Gulf Coast. The storm surge overwhelmed the levees, causing catastrophic flooding. Water poured through breaches, submerging homes and businesses. The Superdome became a refuge for thousands. But the dome's roof peeled back, exposing those inside. The storm raged, tearing apart buildings and uprooting trees. When the storm subsided, the true extent of the devastation emerged. Section 3. A City Submerged. In the aftermath of Katrina, New Orleans was a city transformed, its familiar landscape now an alien world of flooded streets, ruined homes, and mountains of debris. The air hung heavy with the stench of floodwater, a toxic mix of sewage, gasoline, and decaying matter. The storm had exposed the city's vulnerabilities, its aging infrastructure, its poverty, and its racial divides, all laid bare by the rising waters. The lower Ninth Ward, a predominantly African-American neighborhood, was among the hardest hit. Its homes and lives washed away by the flood, a stark reminder of the inequalities that persisted within the city. The human toll was staggering. Thousands were dead, their bodies recovered from the floodwaters, their lives cut short by the storm's fury. Hundreds of thousands more were displaced, their homes destroyed, their lives shattered, forced to flee the city they loved, uncertain if or when they could return. The world watched in horror as the tragedy unfolded, the images of suffering and despair broadcast around the globe, a stark reminder of the devastating power of nature and the fragility of human life. Section 4. New Orleans Rising. In the face of unimaginable loss, the spirit of New Orleans refused to be broken. Amidst the ruins, a spirit of resilience emerged. From the ashes of destruction, a remarkable story of recovery began to unfold. Volunteers flocked to the city, offering their time and skills. Musicians returned to the streets, their music a celebration of life. The city's unique culture proved to be a source of strength. The spirit of New Orleans endured, a testament to resilience and hope. A world reshaped, a world renewed. From Pompeii to Pripyat, from the Indian Ocean to New Orleans, nature reshapes landscapes and human history. These events tell stories of resilience, of nature's healing and humanity's spirit to rebuild. Mount Vesuvius reminds us of the forces beneath our feet, the slumbering giants that can awaken. Chernobyl warns of our technological choices, urging responsible use of atomic power. The 2004 Indian Ocean Tsunami shows our interconnectedness and the need for global cooperation. Hurricane Katrina tested a city's soul, revealing human compassion and resilience. These events are warnings and inspirations, reminding us to respect nature, learn from the past, and build a sustainable future. They show life's tenacity, the power of hope, and our capacity to heal and rebuild. As we look to the future, we appreciate our planet's balance, nature's power, and human spirit. In destruction and renewal, we find hope for our future.